How do you catch a highline, and should you even do it? Check it out in this episode of How Not to Highline. Hi, I'm Ryan Jinks and welcome to my garage. Today we're going to go over the different styles of catching highlines and whether or not you should do it. So there are 3 different ways you can catch a highline. With your armpits, with your legs, or with your hands. Let's first start off with that armpit method. If you feel unstable and then you fall and throw your arms over the line, it's going to hurt. Arm and armpit catches are based out of fear and have no technique. If you're doing this on a regular basis, you're not going to last very long when you go highlining, and you're not going to have as much fun. And the next method is to catch it inside your legs. Now technically this does involve using your hands to catch the line, but the leg method is legs first then hands, and the hand method is hands first then legs. So with the leg method, when you start to feel unstable, you just open up your legs. If you lock your knees and go straight down on a highline, it's gonna hurt. But if you land more with the sitting position, it'll end up more in your thigh than up in the middle. And falling this way is actually part of the Korean butt bounce trick, when you bounce on your butt and then stand it back up on the line. This can be an ideal way of falling if you, 1, get good at it, and 2, aren't too out of control when you do need to fall. If you're good at it, it won't really hurt, and you stay on top of the line, saving you a lot of energy having to come back up. But if you're leaning way off to the side and then you fall, it's gonna land further up your leg, making you rotate underneath the line, and worst case, hitting the inside of your knee. Now if you land on your thigh all day, it could bruise you up pretty badly. And in case you don't have balls, the balls, to take a line up your crotch, you can do my favorite method, which is catching with your hands. There's 2 ways to catch a line. The first is to be halfway giving up, and since you're already halfway bent over, you reach down and grab the line. The second way is the ninja catch. Why is it called the ninja catch, you ask? That's because when you're fighting a line super hard and all of a sudden the line goes up, somehow ends up in your hand out of reflex, and then you grab it with the other hand on the way back down. Ninja catches can be sketchy because you're primarily catching with one hand and then could potentially hyperextend your arm on the way down. Though you could just use your hands when you're falling, it is nice to throw a leg over to catch some of that falling momentum. And if I'm falling with any level of control and I go straight down towards a line like this, I'll leave my back foot on the line as long as possible to help hold the weight until my other leg can wrap around and I can throw my calf or my heel on the high line. And wherever your line does hit your leg, it's best that it stays on that part of the leg rather than hitting and coming all the way up, bruising your entire leg on one fall. And if I'm really working a line or working with a sharp line, I tend to wear gloves so I can enjoy highlining longer that day. Open finger gloves like big wall gloves or bicycle gloves give me a lot more dexterity when I'm trying to work with highlines and catch them. Now I usually advocate practicing things for a highline at home in a park, but this isn't one of those things. Practicing catching a highline really can only be practiced on a highline. If you're feeling really nervous and you just want to get comfortable where the line's at so you know it's there when you want to grab it, you don't have to wait till you're about to launch off to practice. Instead, go down slowly and then grab the line with some level of control. Which brings us to talk about whether or not you should catch that line at all. If you're going to free solo, please catch the line. If you're tempted to jump backwards back towards the cliff, don't. It's better to fall forward and catch the line. If you're going to be walking over no fall zones, areas that you can't take a leash fall or you're going to get hurt, which you shouldn't be doing, then you really should be catching. If you're in the middle of a high line and you can take a safe leash fall, it might just be the best option. Check out our other video where we talk about how to walk and fall with leashes. Because if you're going to fall off a high line, it's important to go head first rather than feet first and never backwards. The struggle I know I had is I got good at catching and it became a cop-out for whenever I got scared. So I had to practice giving it all I had before I caught that line, and sometimes that meant whipping. But if you are going to catch, just make sure you don't bring it up into your armpits. Rather, bring it up into your thigh or go straight down, catch it with your hands, and then throw a leg over. But if you're in the middle of a high line and you're safe, give it all you got, and then just go off head first. And just avoid situations where you're required to catch because that's when highlining gets dangerous. Catching can really suck and you can get hurt doing it. Therefore, you shouldn't highline. Hey, don't be a dummy and go do dangerous sports after watching a guy in his garage show you how to do it, but please go with an expert the first time you go out highlining. But in the meantime, check out these videos and don't forget to subscribe.